What's up everybody, it's RobinGaming here. Now, for the past year, I've been pretty much updating you on all the rumors and all the speculation on a possible Uncharted 4, and today should hopefully be that final video, you know, with new rumors and new things to talk about before the game actually gets announced. So that's very exciting. Yeah, why that is, I'll get into that very soon. But for now, all I can say is that I think the American expression would be, there's a lot of food for thought. There's definitely, you know, a few rumors that are very interesting, and yeah, it's going to be an exciting video today. So like I said, hopefully this will be the last one before we actually get to see the game. Now, let's start off with the first thing, which is that Uncharted 3 got a patch last week, patch 1.18, and I think, you know, this is one of those things where a game that is so single-player focused, you know, the Uncharted franchise is very single-player focused. Uncharted 3 maybe sold about 5 to 6 million copies, but how many people still play its multiplayer after a month? Probably about, you know, 100,000 or something like that. Definitely not a lot, you know, people buy these kinds of games for the single player, and then there's a small core community who keeps playing the multiplayer, I mean. And now after 2 years, how many people still play it? I mean, the game went free to play and such, so that definitely attracted some more people. That's actually also one of the hints why I think Uncharted 4 is coming, but yeah, right now I would say there's probably about 50,000 people still playing the game. So why would Naughty Dog be supporting the multiplayer for a game like that so much, even 2 years after it came out? You know, that's just one of those things where I am just thinking like, this can only be if they, you know, decided to have a sequel or something to continue the franchise. They wouldn't be supporting it so much if this was the final Uncharted, because then it's over, you know, there's nothing to achieve anymore. People would be playing the multiplayer, could be playing it for fun, but after that there's nothing anymore. That's it, pretty much, you know. So what I, and personally this is just my theory behind that, with the Spike Video Game Awards coming up, where you know, I've always thought it would be announced, you know, or I mean, I always thought there was a big chance it was going to be announced at the Video Game Awards. And I just think right now, okay, we're 1 month away from the release of the game. You know, let's get all the people jumping on Uncharted again to try out the new maps, and we made all the DLC free and blah blah blah, you know, to get people excited about the multiplayer again, get people playing it, and then in a month we will announce Uncharted 4, and they'll be ready for that. You know, they'll still have Uncharted in their mind because they just recently played it. So that's pretty much everything I want to talk about in terms of the patch 1.18. Now let's actually get onto some rumors that don't have to do with anything regarding Uncharted 4, but rather Naughty Dog working on a new IP, because there have been a few rumors about that as well the past month. So the first thing that came out was that a Sony band employee actually had on his LinkedIn profile, it said that he was working on a PlayStation 4 action-adventure title. So, you know, I've never really talked about this, though it has always been in the back of my head, you know. Naughty Dog doesn't have to continue the Uncharted franchise for the franchise to be continued. I mean, it's not Naughty Dog that necessarily has to do a new Uncharted. Sony could easily have another studio working on that. Now, Sony Band, of course, has been making Uncharted Golden Abyss for the PS Vita. They were the creators of that. And sure, it's definitely possible that, you know, Naughty Dog wanted to do something brand new, and then Sony let Sony Band do the next Uncharted game, Uncharted 4. Now, it's not very likely in my eyes, and I hope that's not the case, to be honest, because you know, even though Sony Band pulled off a great job with Uncharted Golden Abyss, you know, it was a fun game for the PS Vita, but I thought it didn't come close to the console Uncharted games, and that's just my eyes. And you know, with Uncharted pushing the boundaries in terms of graphics and cinematic experiences, I don't think Sony Band can do that. If there's one studio that can push it even further, it's gotta be Naughty Dog, the original creators of the series. So that's pretty much, you know, my thought on that, but it's definitely something to remember, that Naughty Dog doesn't have to continue the Uncharted franchise. They could also have a different developer do that. However, again, I don't think that's going to happen, and to be honest, I wouldn't want it to happen. So now, let's get into something that has been very much speculated about for the past week, which is the supposed Savage Starlight game from Naughty Dog. So, for those of you who don't know what Savage Starlight is, it's pretty much a comic series in The Last of Us. You know, you can collect these comic books, and again, they are called Savage Starlight, that's what the series is called. And it got people speculating, you know, if that's not an Easter egg to the next Naughty Dog game, that game is actually called that. Another thing to take in mind is that they registered a domain name, which is savagestarlight.com, and it's registered by Naughty Dog. So it kind of, you know, leaves people to think like, well, I mean, why would they register a domain if it's got nothing to do with something they want to do in the future, you know? But then in an FAQ kind of like thing for Naughty Dog, which they always do in the forums, it was asked what this meant, and they were kind of like, well, you know, we're working on something with, I think they're called Dark Moon or something. It's like a comic book publisher or something, I believe. I'm sorry, I'm not really into that stuff, but you know, and they said they were working on that and maybe looking into the possibilities with that, and I thought it was kind of believable, you know. At the same time, that cover of Savage Starlight, I mean, it doesn't really look like it could be a new game, to be honest. But that was already like, I think 4 months ago or something like that, so you know, it kind of, people kind of forgot about it, but now it popped up again because David Ballard, one of the Naughty Dog employees who worked on The Last of Us, I know he was in that team, tweeted out that Naughty Dog was visiting SpaceX, a kind of like convention which is all about space and stuff, and you know, it got people thinking again about that Savage Starlight IP, which would, you know, take place in space pretty much, you know. What does this have to do with it? And yeah, again, people were really speculating about that. Now, what followed was that on the NeoGAF forums, in one of the like speculation topics about that, Jeff Keighley, who is like a big host at Game Trailers, I believe, you know, he posted this GIF, this picture of an alien, pretty much in like, yeah, well, what can I say? It was an alien with a UFO, you know, above it, and it got people, once again, people were really like, what does this mean? Does he know more about it or something like that? I mean, Jeff Keighley always works together with these kinds of like developers and publishers to announce new games. And yeah, once again, I mean, people didn't know what to think about that, especially because, like, I think a day after or something, he announced that there would be a PS4 All Access event, which would take place 1 day before the PlayStation 4 comes out, so on November 14th, and that there would be a lot of new PS4 games to be announced on there. And yeah, that's definitely very exciting, you know. If PlayStation will have their own event where they will announce a lot of new games just the day before the system comes out, it may very likely be that Uncharted actually will get announced there, or the new Naughty Dog game, whatever it may be. So yeah, I mean, that's very exciting. So we could actually already see the game in about, I think it's 10 days from now or something. Yeah, when the PS4 comes out is in about, I think 12 days from now. So yeah, 11 days to the PS4 All Access event. So very exciting. Could we see Uncharted 4 there, the next Naughty Dog game? Who knows? If not, then I definitely expect the Spike Video Game Awards, because once again, they've been working on this game for 2 years now. They're ready to announce it. They're not gonna wait any longer. I'm pretty sure of that. But of course, I mean, don't take my word on that. It doesn't have to happen. It's just what I definitely expect to happen. So the next thing is that there was a Reddit AMA with Justin Richmond and Robert Cogburn, developers at Naughty Dog who worked on Uncharted 3. You see them in these kinds of like these kind of patch videos all the time on Uncharted TV. And yeah, it was asked to them, what does this whole Savage Starlight thing have to do with Naughty Dog? You know, is it something that you guys are working on or something? And then I think it was Robert Cogburn, I don't know, one of the two at least, said like, if only the Starlight wasn't so savage. And I mean, it's kind of funny that he said that, but to be honest, I mean, many people were like, okay, so it's definitely a thing then. But in my eyes, and the way I looked at it was that, no, that meant that it wasn't a thing, because it was almost too obvious, you know. People were already speculating about this, so why would he be saying something like that? It would be too obvious and kind of like giving away what they were working on, so I'm sure that's not it. One guy actually asked them, of course, you know, if they were making Uncharted 4, and as always, they would say that, you know, we won't say what we're doing, but we're very excited about it, and you know, it wouldn't be exciting actually if we already said what we were doing. We want to properly announce the game, of course. Personally, I actually wanted to write something to them as well. Now, I wasn't gonna ask something about Uncharted 4, of course, because I knew that wouldn't have any use. So yeah, all I did was you know, leaving a little bit of advice for a next game. And I think the most interesting thing was what followed up, which was a tweet by Christoph Balestra, one of the co-presidents at Naughty Dog, who also tweeted that they were at SpaceX, but then he kind of like debunked the whole rumor that they were making a space game, because he literally said, we're not making a game in space, you know, we just you know, we were just visiting that place on invite. So I think what we can take away from this is that they're definitely not working on a game that takes place in space. I know a lot of people were really thinking this was legit, you know, that they were actually working on a game like that Uncharted 4 wasn't gonna happen. And yeah, I mean, I can see that, but now having seen this all and having spoken of this all, I hope you agree with me that it's definitely not likely that that's coming. What you also gotta keep in mind is those pirate models, by the way, which were spotted in the Naughty Dog offices not too long ago. I mean, they are almost obviously hinting at something Uncharted related. For example, a flashback to Francis Drake's past, where you have all these pirates and stuff, and it was something that was leaked, and yeah, I definitely think that has got to do something with their next game. Graham McTavish, who tweeted out at February, I think, of this year, or January actually, so that's already like almost a year ago when he tweeted that he was working on a new game, that he just started shooting for that and stuff, and I mean, he still hasn't said what that game is. We still don't know about it yet. So it's almost like it's got to be the next Naughty Dog game. It's got to be, you know, the most likely thing is of course Uncharted 4, because he's been working for all the Uncharted games. He was the actor of Cutter and of Lazarevich. But yeah, I mean, then that Jeff Keighley tease with the alien, you know, it definitely keeps me thinking, and my head is kind of like spinning with all these rumors and stuff. But for now, I wouldn't be too worried about it. One thing that is for sure though is that we are very close to the announcement of their next game. You know, with all this kind of speculation really popping up so much, it's gotta mean that we are very close to the announcement of the next game, and that's gonna be a very exciting thing. Whether it will be at the PS4 All Access event or at the Spike Video Game Awards, I'm once again almost sure that we are going to see their next game there, which you know, I definitely would still expect to be Uncharted 4. And yeah, let's only hope so I can quit making these videos with speculation about their next game, because I just want to see what they've been working on, and I can't wait to see what their next game would look like on the PS4. It's bound to look incredible, of course. So let me know your thoughts on this. What is Naughty Dog working on? Is it Uncharted 4? Is it maybe still Jak and Daxter 4? Or is it a new IP, and where would that take place? Be sure to leave me your theories on this all, and then I want to thank you a lot for watching, hopefully for the last time in one of these videos, and I hope to see you again next time.